This may sound counterintuitive, but sometimes I do wish that I was heartless. It's not that I want to be heartless all the time per se, but it's just that sometimes the amount of natural compassion can be so overwhelming at times when you look out at the world and you see the people that are just going the wrong direction. And you try to lead them another way and show them that there's a better option. You lead by example. And they still just don't give a shit. And it makes it hard to want to give a shit about people that clearly don't even want to care about themselves. And so it's not that exactly being heartless is the goal. And I don't want anybody to be heartless. I don't think that'll help the world. But there's a difference between not giving a fuck and being heartless. To be heartless is to not be, is to have apathy. It's not about anything else but apathy. And that's just an empty void that nobody does well with. Whereas not giving a fuck is basically being a sophisticated savage. And so you have to be a savage when you don't give a fuck. And I've now come to realize that God will only give us what we plan to change, what we truly plan to change. He won't give us anything else. And sometimes God will give us exactly what we're looking for to see whether or not we are prepared to receive it. And then sometimes God will send demons our way. And you think, oh, what? God will send demons our way? What the? That sounds not like God. Well, then obviously, you don't know the scriptures. God is the creator of all things good and evil. There are many times in this life where we're not going to be ready for what is in front of us, where we do not have the strength to move forward. When we see all of the people going right, and you're looking at yourself like, well, going left is going to be taking a little bit longer, but there's a lot less true obstacles going down that path. Yeah, sure, the right path is shorter and there's a lot of little hurdles to jump through, but there's so many people going over there, and you know, the route that they're going down on that right-hand path, it doesn't lead to what they think it's leading to. Like, can't you guys see where this is going? And so you end up going left. And this is what happens when you go left. When you take the other route that anybody else is not taking. When you expose that route to the people that are going right, and you're like, well, I'm going to go left over here. One of two things usually happen in my experience. Number one, it irritates their demons. I guess three things. Number one, it irritates their demons. Number two, because their demons are irritated, they do one of two things in that situation. They plot to distract you or to gang stalk you, which gang stalking is a very real thing. And to anybody that has been gang stalked and people don't believe you, I believe you. It is a very weird phenomenon when you feel as though there are literal groups of people planning to end you. It is very, it's not even heartbreaking because it's creepy and it's very disruptive to everything that you want to do. The goal of gang stalking is to completely derail you from what you're here to do. So, and then the third option when you expose this left-hand route is that they actually consider that you actually might be right. And they'll do one of two things in that situation as well. They'll either start following your lead, or they'll know the truth and yet refuse to accept it, and they'll still go right. And then they're going to end up exactly where they don't want to be, and they're going to end up exactly where they know they don't want to be, and yet they're still making those decisions. They're still making those choices. So, what do you do? What do you do when you are wishing to be heartless? Because, yeah, sometimes it happens. But as empaths, as chosen ones, you have to understand that you are not meant to be heartless, right? You are not meant to be a person that takes themselves out of the equation of God's will. That's not, this is not in the cards for you, because you have things to do. You have work to do. You were put here for a reason. You were put here to discover, to pioneer pathways, and to live a life that is full of zest, that is full of discipline, discourse, and opportunity, and prospers of the soul and the spirit. So, when you are starting to feel heartless in these situations, when you are starting to feel heartless, notice it, number one, and notice the root of it. Notice why you're feeling this way. One of the reasons I'm feeling heartless now, or at least wishing I was heartless, is because I'm seeing people just keep making terrible choices. And anybody that's been involved with narcissists, they know that the narcissist is self-destructive. And as a codependent, as a healing codependent in a narcissistic relationship, you have to understand that your part of your attachment is going to be self-destructive as well until you learn how to heal it. The difference between codependents and narcissists is that there are documented cases of codependents actually healing, and narcissists no. I still have faith that anybody can enter the kingdom of heaven if they're willing to change, and I will hold to that. But I would not hold my breath for the narcissist, per se. I will move on. I will wish them well from afar and go about my life and live as if I'm never going to see them again and still wish them well, even though, because I've forgiven them. And it's not because I've forgiven them for them, it's I've forgiven them for the sake of myself to move forward. That is what it means to heal. But now I'm getting to a situation where I'm slowly beginning to realize that it is now so important, so critical at this stage of my development to surround myself with people that are on this path, that are willing to take the chances, to be bold, to be sincere, and to not take their lives for granted, and to take themselves seriously, take their lives seriously. And as you, chosen ones watching this, The reason that you take your life seriously is because you've seen so many traumatic things that it's impossible, almost impossible, to not take your life seriously. It's almost impossible to not treat every single moment as if it matters. That's the feeling that you have. It's that you don't want to waste any more time at all. And as a woman, you want, if you're looking for a relationship, if you're looking for a partner as a woman, you're looking for someone that is stable, that is secure. And granted, you're not a partier or anything like that. Granted, you are not still in your phase of self-exploration, which we all know as men, even though we don't tell you. We all know that that's code for I'm sleeping around a lot. And don't try to pretend that it's not, because we know. But granted, you are a feminine woman that is of Yah, that has a vision of what her future is going to be like, that has solid relationships, and that understands her relationships are the most important things that she has, that she can contribute to in this life, then you're going to be looking for a man that is stable financially, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, and that is capable of providing and protecting you. And then as a man, one thing that I've really started to see more recently, especially on semen retention, is that I have absolutely no interest in a woman showing her body to me anymore. It's like my whole life, especially over the last 5 years, it's almost more difficult to find a woman that has clothes on, that doesn't have clothes on. It's like, where are the women with clothes? Where are they? And where are the women that don't have blue hair? Where are the women that don't have pentagrams carved on their you-know-whats? That's what it's like. That's what it's like out here for a lot of men that are actually righteous on the path. It's like you see so clearly, and the women too that are actually on the narrow path. It's like you see so clearly that the righteous are very few. There are very few truly honorable, righteous people out there. And then the ones that claim to be honorable and righteous, and then talk about their past, and you're like, okay, well, obviously everybody's made mistakes, but there are certain things in life that you can't really take back. And that's that. But anyway, as a man, especially on semen retention, what I'm looking for, and what I believe most righteous men are looking for, is a woman that shows her divinity and that shows that she's capable of purity ever so more than showing her body. Now, it's not to say that you can't dress classy. It's not to say that you can't look good. I'm not saying, you should wear an XXL shirt and have it super baggy and wear super large jeans that don't show off anything. I'm not saying that at all, because if a woman's been in the gym and she's working hard and she wants to show off a little bit, I'm not going to get upset if she's wearing yoga pants or something at the gym. What do you want her to wear? Jeans? What do you want her to wear? No, I get it. I get it. But the thing is that It's that where it's when you're practically wearing a bra and panties at the gym every day. That's where I'm like, okay, well, no, that's a harlot. That's a harlot for sure. And the thing is that the women, even if she is not, it's like, well, you're advertising yourself as one. So a righteous man is not going to look at you and say, oh yeah, like, oh, that looks like a wife. No, that's not what a righteous man thinks. Sorry, honey. No. So in your relationships, God is also going to give you what you can manage to change and what you can organize to change. If you haven't gotten that person yet, then I would say you have to trust God in saying that you're not really ready for it. And you have to just keep bettering yourself, keep developing your character, ensuring that you have integrity, ensuring that you have discipline, ensuring that you have financial stability of some kind, and making sure that you are doing everything that you can each day to stay grounded, to stay well fed, to stay well rested, so that you can perform and that you can give more. Because when you are capable and confident in yourself, truly, when you have that sense of purity and dignity and integrity embedded into your character, you are absolutely and 100% going to see through almost everybody that comes in your way. You're going to see through you. And it's almost like you can just look at them and you can say, like, I see through you. That's all. You can put on the show. You can put on the mask. I see through it. I see through it. And so you have to just keep bettering yourself. And you have to accept what may or may not be in your case. But overall, the point of this message is to make sure that you are living a life that is graceful, that is full of hope for you. And the thing is that you kind of have to be more selfish. This is something I'm learning as well, is that the more selfish I am, and not selfish as in me, it's more selfish as in more myself, the more I can give and the more of my character that I can develop so that I can provide some kind of information and wisdom to others. I do believe my greatest feat and my greatest, I would say, skill is seeing people for who they are and being able to mirror them in such a way that reveals to them that they are being seen. And one of the reasons for that is because I didn't feel seen for so long in my life that when I finally learned how to see myself, I saw so many other people so clearly, and I had this sort of compassion that I hadn't felt before for them. Just because I can look into somebody's eyes and I can hear their voice and I can feel everything that they are feeling in that moment. Very clairvoyant, very empathetic, very understanding of their situation in that moment. And it's almost like God gives me this inclination to be the wellspring of insight that they need in that particular moment. I've had many people throughout my life say that's exactly what I needed to hear right now. And I didn't always know exactly what I was saying. I didn't always know exactly what I was doing. I was just moved by the Spirit. Even though at the time I may have not even understood what that was. Even as a younger guy, when I was like 12 or 13, I know that I could just be in the presence of somebody and I could just feel what they're feeling. But I didn't understand exactly what it was or what it meant until later in life when I had to learn emotional differentiation, which is a term that I coined for myself so that I can learn how to emotionally differentiate my emotions from others. And it took me a while, but I believe that the blessing in that was so that I can see people clearly, so that I can see people and be a mirror for them in the most regal way that I can, that provides insight to them and for them. And I do believe that that's part of my purpose here. And that is what God has given me so that I can manage to change it as I can. So, with that being said, I hope this message was useful and I hope it was insightful. And for anybody that is feeling heartless or just feeling like they need to be heartless, don't let people that are not seeing who you really are, your true worth, and you have to have a realistic understanding of your worth. Don't let people that don't see your realistic worth judge you or make you feel as though you are being judged by the Creator, because the Creator is the one that judges. The Creator is the one that sees your true heart. Not even I can tell you exactly who exactly or what exactly you are. And I don't play that game. I don't want to play that game. Like I try to see everybody eye to eye. I don't try to see myself as better or worse than anybody. But I do try to be a better version of myself each day. So, peace be with you all. Until next time. See ya.